High above the clouds, beyond the reach of ordinary life, stands a mountain so massive, so powerful, and so dangerous that it has captured the imagination of humanity for centuries. A place where the air is thin, temperatures fall far below freezing, and every single step can mean the difference between life and death. This is Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth. A giant of rock, ice, wind, and mystery. Standing proudly in the Himalayas on the border between Nepal and Tibet, Mount Everest rises approximately 8,848 meters above sea level, nearly 29,032 feet into the sky. To climbers, Everest is the ultimate challenge. To scientists, it is a natural wonder. To local people, it is sacred. And to the world, it is a symbol of courage, ambition, determination, and survival. But Everest is far more than just a mountain. It is a place filled with incredible history, deadly disasters, legendary explorers, frozen mysteries, and inspiring stories of human endurance. In today's documentary, we will explore everything about Mount Everest, from how it was formed millions of years ago, to the brave climbers who risked their lives to stand on its summit. We will discover the mountain's secrets, dangers, culture, wildlife, climbing routes, tragedies, and the future of Everest in a changing world. This is the complete story of Mount Everest. Mount Everest is located in the Himalayan mountain range, one of the most powerful and beautiful mountain systems on Earth. The mountain lies directly on the border between Nepal and the Tibet Autonomous Region of China. For thousands of years, the Himalayas have inspired travelers, monks, explorers, and adventurers. The Himalayas contain many of the highest mountains in the world. But among all of them, Everest stands above the rest. In Nepal, Mount Everest is known as Sagarmatha, which means forehead in the sky. In Tibet, the mountain is called Komalungma, meaning Goddess Mother of the World. These names reflect the deep spiritual respect local people have for the mountain. Everest is not just a geographical landmark. For many communities, it is sacred. Every year, thousands of trekkers and climbers travel to Nepal hoping to witness this legendary peak. The journey often begins in Kathmandu, the capital city of Nepal. From there, climbers usually fly to Lukla Airport, one of the most dangerous airports in the world. After landing, they begin a long trek through villages, forests, rivers, suspension bridges, and icy valleys. Along the way, travelers encounter Buddhist monasteries, prayer flags, and the famous Sherpa communities who have lived in the region for generations. The closer one gets to Everest, the more powerful and intimidating the mountain becomes. Towering walls of ice rise into the sky. Glaciers move slowly through deep valleys, and the silence of the Himalayas creates an atmosphere unlike anywhere else on Earth. The story of Mount Everest began millions of years ago. Long before humans existed, long before the Himalayas even formed, the land looked completely different. Scientists believe that around 50 million years ago, the Indian tectonic plate slowly collided with the Eurasian tectonic plate. This collision was incredibly powerful. The Earth's crust folded and lifted upward over millions of years. As the land continued to rise, the Himalayan mountains were born, and among them, Mount Everest eventually became the tallest. What makes this even more fascinating is that marine fossils have been found near the summit of Everest. This means that parts of the mountain were once beneath an ancient ocean. Imagine that. The highest point on Earth was once underwater. Even today, Everest continues to grow slightly every year because the tectonic plates are still moving. The mountain is alive in a geological sense. Its shape changes constantly due to earthquakes, snow, ice, and erosion. Nature is always reshaping Everest. And yet, despite all these changes, the mountain remains one of the most stable symbols of power on our planet. For centuries, local people living in the Himalayas knew about Everest, but the outside world did not fully understand the scale of the mountain until the 19th century. During the British Survey of India, scientists and surveyors began measuring peaks across the Himalayas. At first, Everest was simply known as Peak 15. In 1856, surveyors announced that Peak 15 was the tallest mountain in the world. The mountain was later named after Sir George Everest, a British surveyor. Interestingly, George Everest himself never actually saw the mountain. Once the world learned about Everest, explorers became obsessed with reaching its summit. But climbing Everest in the early 1900s was extremely difficult. There were no modern climbing suits, no advanced oxygen systems, no satellite communication, and no accurate weather forecasting. The mountain was largely unexplored and incredibly dangerous. Early expeditions faced freezing temperatures, avalanches, exhaustion, and deadly storms. Yet the dream of standing on top of the world continued to inspire adventurers. One of the most famous early climbers was George Mallory. When journalists asked him why he wanted to climb Everest, he famously replied, "Because it's there." In 1924, Mallory and climbing partner Andrew Irvine disappeared during an attempt to reach the summit. To this day, historians still debate whether they reached the top before vanishing. Their story became one of the greatest mysteries in mountaineering history. For decades, Everest remained unconquered. Then finally, in 1953, history was made. A British expedition led by John Hunt launched one of the most carefully planned Everest expeditions ever attempted. Among the climbers were two extraordinary men, Sir Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay, a Sherpa mountaineer from Nepal. On May 29, 1953, after an exhausting climb through snow, ice, and deadly altitude, Hillary and Tenzing reached the summit of Mount Everest. For the first time in human history, people stood on the highest point on Earth. The achievement shocked and inspired the entire world. The pair became global heroes. At the summit, Tenzing offered sweets as a spiritual gesture. Hillary reportedly looked across the endless horizon of mountains in clouds. They spent only a short time at the top before beginning the dangerous descent. Because on Everest, reaching the summit is only half the journey. Many climbers have died while descending. The first successful ascent of Everest changed mountaineering forever. It proved that humans could survive and succeed in one of the harshest environments on Earth, and it opened the door for future expeditions from around the world. No story about Everest is complete without discussing the Sherpas. The Sherpa people are an ethnic group native to the Himalayan region. For generations, they have lived in high-altitude environments where oxygen levels are much lower than at sea level. Sherpas are known for their incredible strength, endurance, climbing ability, and knowledge of the mountains. Today, they are essential to Everest expeditions. They guide climbers, carry supplies, fix ropes, set up camps, and often risk their lives helping others survive. Without Sherpas, many Everest expeditions would simply not be possible. Some Sherpas have climbed Everest dozens of times. They know the mountain better than almost anyone. Yet despite their skills and experience, Sherpas also face great danger. Many have died in avalanches, icefalls, and storms while supporting expeditions. Their bravery and contribution to mountaineering deserve enormous respect. Among the most famous Sherpas is Appa Sherpa, who climbed Everest multiple times and became a legend in the climbing world. The Sherpas are not just guides, they are guardians of Everest. Mount Everest is beautiful, but it is also extremely dangerous. Every year, climbers risk their lives attempting to reach the summit. One of the greatest dangers is the altitude. At the summit of Everest, oxygen levels are only about one-third of what humans normally breathe at sea level. This area above 8,000 meters is often called the death zone. In the death zone, the human body slowly begins to die. Climbers can suffer from altitude sickness, confusion, hallucinations, brain swelling, and lung failure. Even simple movements become exhausting. Another major danger is extreme weather. Temperatures can drop below -40 degrees Celsius. Powerful winds can throw climbers off balance. Sudden storms can trap people on the mountain for hours or days. Avalanches are another deadly threat. Huge masses of snow and ice can collapse without warning. The Khumbu Icefall, near Everest Base Camp, is considered one of the most dangerous sections of the climb. Massive ice towers constantly shift and crack. Climbers must move carefully through ladders placed over deep crevasses. One mistake can be fatal. There is also the risk of exhaustion. Many climbers spend weeks slowly acclimatizing to the altitude. They move between camps, allowing their bodies to adjust. Even then, reaching the summit requires enormous physical and mental strength. And perhaps the hardest truth about Everest is this: not everyone comes back. More than 300 people have died on Mount Everest. Some bodies remain on the mountain because recovery is too dangerous. In fact, certain bodies have become known landmarks for climbers. This reality reminds everyone that Everest demands respect. The mountain does not forgive carelessness. One of the most tragic events in Everest history occurred in 1996. That year, multiple commercial expeditions attempted to guide clients to the summit. On May 10th, climbers from different teams pushed toward the top, but delays, overcrowding, exhaustion, and sudden bad weather created a deadly situation, a violent blizzard.